All in Sports Network. We love sports.
The Kansas City Chiefs have played 9 games throughout the entirety of the 2025 NFL season. They have a midweek bye here, and it's a mid-season bye as well with 18 games on the schedule. Guess what? It's time for some mid-season awards. I guess 18 weeks, not 18 games. But either way, mid-season awards for the Kansas City Chiefs coming your way here on the Chiefs Report. I'm Jay Sanders. We're here, a part of the Rogue Sports Media Network. We appreciate you watching. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Music or Spotify. And we got a good show for you here today. We're going to talk about some mid-season awards. It's kind of nice. You play 9 weeks, you get a week 10 bye, you're right in the middle of the season. And sometimes during these bye weeks, there's not much news to go on. Obviously, Josh Simmons coming back is a big thing, and having a couple different news on the roster move situation. But besides that, it's kind of been a little lackluster for news this week, as you would expect. All the players not really doing much. In fact, Patrick Mahomes is going to game day on Saturday for Texas Tech versus BYU. I believe there's the contest, but it'll be fun to see him as the guest picker come Saturday morning. I'll be for sure tuning in. And he is a part of our Chiefs midseason awards. You can guess what award he wins, I should say. But today, we're going to talk about multiple different awards for the Kansas City Chiefs as we go through our defensive rookie of the year, our offensive rookie of the year thus far, our offensive player of the year thus far, our defensive player of the year thus far, and just because I want to, I'm going to throw a comeback player in there as well. And then, of course, the MVP, which not too hard to guess who that guy is. However, we're going to start talking about our offensive and defensive rookie of the year first. Going to be some big games coming up for the Kansas City Chiefs. Denver, Indianapolis, Dallas, Houston. You got two of the upper echelon teams into the NFL. However, I will say before we go on the awards, Denver does not scare me as much after watching last night's game against the Las Vegas Raiders because, man, did they look bad, and they somehow won that game. So I am not going to be as scared about them. But let's start with our defensive rookie of the year. This is an interesting award, both offensive and defensive rookie of the year awards, because if you really think about it, your first round pick, who normally be a rookie of the year in theory, I know it's an offensive tackle, but even at that time, you'd probably select him if he had a good grade PFF-wise and was protecting Patrick Mahomes. The problem is Simmons has been gone for a decent amount of the season, so in my opinion, I couldn't, in theory, give him that award offensively. Defensively, Omar Norman-Lott has played great, but he is now injured and out, and I didn't feel it was fair to give it to someone who has missed the last 2 weeks, and I honestly think if he was healthy, I think I might still give it to this person. So, without further ado, your defensive rookie of the year thus far for the Kansas City Chiefs is Noah Williams, and he has been fantastic out of California. Our round 3 pick. The secondary for the Chiefs has always been something that Brett Veach has prided himself on and continuously not only drafted well, scouted well, and I think in a lot of ways, he's built them up well. He's made them better in every single situation. Noah Williams is a part of a very good cornerback room here for the Kansas City Chiefs. You talk about guys like Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Noah Williams. He's been right up there with them, and the praise that he's gotten from Andy Reid, Coach Spags, and in some aspect of the media really talking about him as of late. I like that he is going to be, in my mind, the next lineage of Chiefs corners. I mean, you think about the past, 4 or 5 years now. Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. Trent McDuffie was kind of just coming up at that time. Now he's that top tier guy. And you talk about Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, with those guys kind of coming up, and they're both, I think, playing pivotal roles this year. Obviously, Watson in a more pivotal role in some ways, but both those guys could be starting quarterbacks for multiple different teams. Obviously, we know that Watson is here. And now you're seeing Noah Williams, and he's getting to learn from Trent McDuffie and learn from Watson. And it's really just something nice to see because for the longest time, you look at this Chiefs cornerback room and you can see the development of everybody. And Christian Fulton has not done that since he came over in the L'Jarius Sneed trade. Noah Williams has come in here and shown that Christian Fulton is a fluke. And while maybe he was drafted highly, something went off on the recruiting basis or scouting basis. And so I don't know how that exactly goes through, but Noah Williams has played really, really good throughout the first couple weeks. I mean, going to his game logs, he got 22 tackles. Most recently, he played a very pivotal role against Buffalo, 7 total tackles, 5 of those assisted. two solos. Obviously, you want to have less tackles for your cornerbacks, but if he's making them, that means they're not getting into the end zone. So I will take that and run with it as well. Overall, very good season. 3 passes defended, 2 against Philadelphia, and 1 against Baltimore. So that is your defensive rookie of the year for the 2025 season thus far here for the Kansas City Chiefs, Noel Williams. Your offensive rookie of the year. I just mentioned how Josh Simmons or probably be the guy you'd pick because your round 1 pick was an offensive guy, your round 2 pick was a defensive guy. And yes, they're both on the offensive and defensive lines, but I like to think that we're more analytical on the show than what maybe ESPN goes, and they're not going to give the offensive and defensive rookie of the year to just the best guy skill position wise, but more. All right, we're going to look at this team from a logistical and holistic standpoint and say who is helping out the team the most this early in their career. And Josh Simmons is a very good choice. But however, he's been out of commission. And again, family matters. The Chiefs support him, like that's fine. But I don't feel as though we should give him the award in that position. And what's interesting is you look through this draft class, and there's guys like Jalen Royals who you thought could be a good piece, especially given the injuries to the wide receiver room and the suspension to Rashee Rice. But he never really came up and did anything. So the offensive rookie of the year thus far here in the 2025 NFL season, at least to me, for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's Brashard Smith. It really is. And you might be a little shocked by this because the lack of play, for lack of a better term, I think is the best way to put it, but he's had some good games. And this is just my opinion. I understand people may not feel the same way, but I believe if he had gotten more snaps or gets more snaps this season, we're going to see him be a very good player and develop very well for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to compare him to Isaiah Pacheco because Pacheco this year is not having a very good season. However, Pacheco was a 6th-round pick out of Rutgers. Brashard Smith coming in here, 7th-round pick out of SMU. You really do like what you see from him. And in a lot of aspects, you feel as though he can produce. I know it was garbage time. I know there was injuries, but in that Las Vegas game, 14 carries, 39 yards, 5 catches on 5 targets for 42 yards with a 17 long. To me, the best benefit of Brashard Smith, his best ability, is to be a receiving back. It really is. And the Chiefs have had success with SMU players. They really have. Talking about Rashee Rice, but I wish Andy Reid, Matt Nagy would just give him a little more of a chance, specifically when the running back room has been lackluster, and that's at best. Like, it's been very bad. Pacheco's not looked good. In fact, there's only been 3 games in the entire season out of your 9 that have been led in rushing by a running back. You've had Mahomes lead in a couple weeks. You've had like a wide receiver and Xavier Worthy lead in rushing yards in a game 1 week. So if that's the way you're going to run this organization and the team, and you're not going to be willing to go the extra mile to get a Breece Hall or to find a trade partner, do anything of that sorts, then I think it's worth it to play your rookie more, to see if you can find that development factor in it. Because when he played, he produced pretty well, 14 for 38. And the bigger thing, again, 5 receptions for 42 yards on 5 targets is something you liked. He was very agile in that. And I think that's a big reason why Andy Reid likes what we've seen from Brashard Smith as of late. It's been his ability to get the ball and move and work in space. Simple as that. But I mean, he's done so well at his agility. They love him in practice. They loved him in training camp. I really, really want him to be a commanding part of this offense while Pacheco is out. And we don't know the full story on Pacheco. He could return next week. He really could. I doubt it, but he could. And so in that aspect, even if he does, MCL injuries are tough to come back and play full speed. Kareem Hunt's not some spring chicken, and he's not looking good when he's out there. Play Brashard Smith. It's not like we were getting anything out of our running back room last week anyway against the Bills. Try something. Let him go out there and be a receiving back. Like I want to see more of him. And he's a rookie, and there's flaws, and there's plays where he looks like a rookie. I'm not gonna shy away from that. But I just want him to have more opportunities, because when he's gotten the opportunities, he has excelled and really looks like a top tier player for this Kansas City Chiefs squad. Now we're going to go into our offensive and defensive players of the year. So non-rookies, guys who, in my opinion, have impacted the team best offensively and defensively. Just as a kind of little asterisk on this, I am not going to give the MVP to the offensive rookie of the year as well. So kind of wanted to switch that up. So for our not rookie of the year, offensive player of the year thus far for the first half of the season up until this point, it's Hollywood Brown. It really is. And I'm going to be honest, as I was going through these awards and trying to pick the best options, I was almost shocked in myself that it was Hollywood because Travis Kelce has the most receiving yards. He's playing well. That's great. But I look again towards most valuable and the guy who is helping out the team at the best level. And for the receivers, where we've had Worthy being injured, we've had a suspension for Rashee Rice. There's been one guy who's been a staple in every game and really done some fantastic things, and it's been Hollywood. You look at last week against the Buffalo Bills, 2 receptions for 73 yards, 4 receptions on 4 targets for 45 yards against Denver, and 2 touchdowns in that game, 3 receptions on 5 targets against Baltimore, 10 receptions on 16 targets for 99 yards in week 1 when Xavier Worthy went down. I just think that overall Hollywood has been played some of the most underrated football for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jacksonville, he played a huge part. Obviously didn't get the win, but you'd expect in that game that you could have pulled it out with the lead you had. I just see Hollywood as such a integral piece of this offense that is being forgotten because he's not lighting up the world. The 300 plus yards not lighting up the world. But what you might be surprised to know, I guess not surprising given the lack of playing for Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy to some extent due to suspension injury, most yards by a receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, that's going to be Hollywood Brown. He's got 4 touchdowns as well. That's the most amongst any receiving. So do like a lot of what we've seen from him. Obviously the fumble against Las Vegas stunk, but again, it's a game you won 31-0. So I'm not, to be honest, right now, I can't even remember that fumble in a lot of aspects. I love the way he's been able to post. I love the way he's been able to compete every day, every game. And he's been somebody that Patrick Mahomes can kind of rely on and know that, he's going to be out there, especially against the Bills. I know he had 4 targets, only caught 2 of them, but still a 40-yard reception got him close to the end zone. They weren't able to punch it in. It's a problem in its own right, but I like what I've seen from him and the health factor that he's had. It's nice to see. It's nice to see. When they made the move for Hollywood back in the offseason of the 2024 offseason. So I liked what I saw from him. I really was happy that the Chiefs were able to get him. And I think this year he's proving a lot more dividends because, last year there were injuries, there were other stuff going on, and he ended up playing in just the 5 games, 3 in the postseason, though, and really nothing went right for him. So the fact that you can go into 2025 and look that he's posted, he's gotten yardage, he's gotten touchdowns, he's done very well. And in some aspects, maybe you could put that for comeback player of the year, but I had an own special player picked out for that as well. So speaking of which, we've got our defensive player of the year. We've got our comeback player of the year. We got our MVP. We're halfway through the awards. Stick around and watch for the last 3. We'll be right back here on the Chiefs Report.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internext.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending.
A weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Angles 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Angles90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Welcome back into the Chiefs Report here on the Rogue Sports Media Network. Jace Andrews joining you. We're going through some Chiefs mid-season awards. It's nice, week 10 by right about the middle of the season. You're feeling confident in, well, you're not feeling confident this time around, but you can at least feel confident in looking at some mid-season awards and some of these players that we are looking at. Obviously, the 5-4 record is not what you want, but you've lost all of your 4 games by 1 score. So that's a big thing. Hopefully, they can come out of here and beat a Denver team that, I didn't realize this until I watched them last night, but they are 100% a fraud. They are not as good as their record shows whatsoever, beating the Raiders by, 3 points? No. You should go into Mile High. You should win by 30, in my opinion. But that is for the Chiefs to go out there and play and actually prove, first of all, the Broncos are not that good, and second of all, the Chiefs aren't that good. With that being said, though, let's talk about some more midseason awards. So thus far, we've given out a Defensive Rookie of the Year to Noel Williams. We've given out an Offensive Rookie of the Year to Brashard Smith. And we've given out an Offensive Player of the Year to Hollywood Brown. We got 3 awards left. We're halfway through. Let's go with our Defensive Player of the Year and talk about what this guy has done right. And that guy is none other than Trent McDuffie. And Trent has been one of the most underrated corners in the NFL. Like, legitimately, if you look up his PFF stats, if you look up his lockdown ratio, he's not a guy who gets interceptions, just one this season. And throughout his career, it doesn't really grab much, but he just shuts down anybody he's on. He really does. I want to compare him to Christian Gonzalez, who gets a lot of credit for the New England Patriots and how he plays. And, he has this high kind of bar that everybody sets for him. You're going to get paid here soon. And yet, in terms of lockdown corner ratio, it's Patrick Surtain ranking first according to Advanced Gen Stats. Second is Trent McDuffie. Third is Christian Gonzalez. So I find it funny how the media and heck, even the Chiefs really perceive some of these cornerbacks. And McDuffie's just been so good for the past, 4 years now. He's been with Kansas City. Kind of hard to believe that, but he's been fantastic this season once again. A 76.6 PFF grade, ranking him 5th out of all 107 quarterbacks. He's also posted with 494 snaps. That ranks him 16th out of 189 quarterbacks. As I said, not an interception, not a ball hawk type defensive back. He's got one this season. I really do, in some ways, hate how the NFL looks at skill positions, looks at interceptions and big stats with sacks. And I wish there would be more in-depth advanced gen stats where you can see who the top tier quarterbacks legitimately are. Because every year, Trent McDuffie has been up there with those guys, and he doesn't get the credit as he deserves, as I said. Ultimately, though, if you want to talk about defensive player who has gone unrecognized, it's Trent McDuffie. And you can make the case, well, what about Chris Jones or George Karlaftis? Yeah, but this defensive line has been worse than expected. Like, it really should be at least mid-tier, especially given the pressure rate they have, and the blitz rate and the blitz pressure rate they have. Like, all those rates are great. They're just not sacking the quarterback. It's, in terms of blitz to sack ratio, that has a percentage that ranks them 21st of the NFL. Yet they're getting in the backfield at the 4th best blitz percentage. So it's just, there's those advanced gen stats that kind of open up your eyes to the defensive line. And there's the advanced gen stats that open up your eyes to how good Trent McDuffie in the secondary has been. So wanted to give this to McDuffie. Bunch of guys to give it to. Drew Tranquil has been great as well. Leo Chenal playing at a fantastic rate in that linebacker role. But I still believe that Trent McDuffie, for how underrated he is, for how much he does for this team, and in a lot of ways, I mean, he goes out there, he locks down a receiver. If you want him to lock down a specific player, he's got you. Like, that's just the way he's been this season and hasn't gotten talked about enough. And so I'm put him out there. Obviously, as every cornerback, you're going to get burned every now and then. You're going to have some times where it's going to be tough. But I do believe that he is going to be a huge part of the Chiefs and their second half of the season run. And I wouldn't be surprised if those interception turnover ratios go up for Mr. McDuffie. As I mentioned in the 4 changes for the Chiefs to make it the bye week, they can get more turnovers for how little they turn the ball over. That'd be huge. And they only have 5 turnovers this year. There's multiple teams that have 5 turnovers in a game this season. So the fact that you've turned the ball over only 5 times, it's great, but you only have 9 takeaways. If you can get those numbers up, you are going to be in a very, very good spot. So Trent McDuffie is your defensive player of the year. We've got 2 awards left, our MVP and our comeback player of the year. And the comeback player of the year is what we're going to do first. I might get some slack for this. Because technically he's not coming back for the Chiefs, but however, he is really saving his career. A 2nd round pick out of Baylor University, a guy who was a speedster in college, played very well, and you thought he was going to do a lot of things. And funny enough, I guess, talking about Patriots and Christian Gonzalez, he was with the Patriots this past season, season ago, and didn't work out. Didn't work out at all. Your comeback player of the year right now for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's Tyquan Thornton, man. It's Tyquan Thornton. I wish they would give him some more reps, but if you look at his season-by-season ratio here, his rookie year with New England had Bailey Zappi, I think, for quarterback that year. I really can't tell you. 22 receptions for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns with a 29 long. Then the next 2 seasons, nothing. Combined didn't even get to 150 yards, and combined didn't get over 20 catches. It looked like it was a career that was going to be really stuffed from the get-go. Let him go from New England, and he was grabbed by Kansas City. And thus far this season, in 9 games, he's gotten 14 receptions for 28 targets and 311 yards. So in 8 less receptions than what he had in 2022, he's gotten over 50 plus more yards. His average is fantastic, and 3 touchdowns with a 49-yard long. You want a deep ball? Man, come to the Chiefs. You've got Hollywood Brown, you've got Tyquan Thornton, you've got Xavier Worthy. The speedsters in this roster make it hard to believe how many coverage sacks, quote unquote, the Buffalo Bills were able to achieve against the Chiefs in the game this past Sunday. Because in theory, in my mind, with how speedy you have with Thornton, Worthy, and I mean, you want to go Rashee Rice alongside Hollywood Brown, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Plus the flexibility and ability to make a play out of something in Travis Kelce. You would think there'd someone be open for how many times Patrick extended the play, but it didn't happen. And that was the biggest concern for me. Tyquan didn't have a lot to do in that game, obviously. And hadn't too much to do since the return of Rashee Rice. He was a big part early on the season. Obviously, Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice not there for the first after the injury to Worthy. So I do think that Taekwon has taken a production dip in that aspect, but I would not be shocked if he's kind of this like player come later part of the season, looking down the barrel of trying to get to a different playoff seed, heck, looking down the barrel of advancing in the playoffs. And he's the guy who makes the big play. He's the guy who goes deep and puts a touchdown on the board to effectively in the game against whoever they're playing at that point. So really do like what we've seen from Taekwon Thornton. Love the pickup by the Kansas City Chiefs, and would not be shocked if he had some pivotal plays down the stretch for the New England Patriots, for the Kansas City Chiefs. And obviously, he is such a good person to have around too with the speedster you have. You want to talk about Legion of Zoom, quote unquote. We got it here in Kansas City. I just don't think it's been on full effect, if you ask me. And whether you want to blame Matt Nagy, whether you want to blame Andy Reid, whether you want to blame the receivers, I don't know. I don't care. But the speedsters are here in Kansas City, and we have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. Probably should be playing a little better. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, though, he is our MVP. No shocker here. Just another good year for Patrick. He ranks third in passing yards. He ranks fourth in touchdowns. He only has 5 interceptions. His QBR for being 74.4 is kind of low for Patrick, yet it still ranks him fourth in the NFL. And a lot of that 74.4 QBR, it comes from legitimately like 3 games. He's got a 50 ranked QB rating in the Giants game, which, by the way, the Chiefs won. He's got a 59.8 ranked game against Washington, in which the Chiefs won. And then probably one of the worst games of, honestly, Patrick Mahomes' career, just because he couldn't find anybody open. I don't want to say it's his fault, but in terms of completion percentage, in terms of rating, in terms of QBR, 49.7 is not what you want to see against the team in Buffalo that you were fighting to try and prove that, hey, we can compete with these top tier teams in the AFC. Luckily, / maybe unluckily, I don't know yet, they've got more opportunities coming up. You face off against the Denver Broncos coming off this bye week. You then face the Indianapolis Colts. Those are some of the top 2 teams in the AFC. If you can go out, win 2 of those games, you're looking real bright. You go out and lose one of those games, you're looking okay. You go out, you lose both those games, you're in a tough spot. You are in a tough spot. I trust in Patrick Mahomes. I trust in this Chiefs squad. And I think the biggest thing overall to me is, yes, the Denver Broncos are going to have an extended weekend when they play on Thursday Night Football, and then we'll play the Chiefs next Sunday. But at the same time, that Thursday Night Football game revealed a lot about the Denver Broncos and the Chiefs coming off a bye. Andy Reid's genius. I love the Coach Spag as a way to plan a game plan out for an opposing offense. Matt Nagy has had some questions for me throughout his tenure as the offensive coordinator as the Kansas City Chiefs. I really wanted him fired in 2023, but he's here now. He's got some good plays. They're not going to reveal it all early, but now when you're 5-4, some of those plays that maybe you have in the back order, you might need to put up there real quick, because you cannot let this team get into a position where they are 5-5 or, God forbid, 5-6. That would just not go well. So 2 of the very biggest games of the Chiefs, honestly, in the past 4 or 5 years. I really want to say that, and that's trying not to BS with y'all. Like, it's legitimately 2 of the most important games I have witnessed and going to witness the Chiefs play in the past 4 or 5 years of covering them. So I'll be intrigued to see those games. Glad that we got to talk some midseason awards. So kind of running through them real quick. Our offensive rookie of the year is Brashard Smith. Our defensive rookie of the year thus far is Noah Williams. Our offensive player of the year is Hollywood Brown. Our defensive player of the year is Trent McDuffie. Comeback player of the year, Taekwon Thornton. And of course, the MVP, what a shocker, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's what we got for you here today on the Chiefs Report, part of the Rogue Sports Media Network. We've got our daily Chiefs podcast throughout the entire week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Monday. We'll discuss what's happening or what's happened to the AFC. Big game for the Patriots. They play the Buccaneers. Obviously, the Colts still trying to run stuff, and they got Sauce Gardner now. So I'm intrigued to see some of these teams with their new acquisitions as well after the trade deadline. And of course, we'll talk to you about where the Chiefs stand and what it's looking like for the game against Denver. So have a great weekend. We'll see you here on Monday. And for now, peace out, everybody, right here from the Chiefs Report.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.